Smack talking raw, where the legends live and the rookies get schooled in law. This ain't just talk. This is smack talking raw. You ready, Pinky? Judge always Ron. Let's lay the smack down. Boom.
Welcome to another week of Smack Talking Raw. I'm your boy Pinky, and we've got Ron Stradamus in the house. Special episode.
Hey Pinky, how you doing, babe?
I'm doing good. How you doing, birthday boy?
Man, I'm in prime shape right now, my friend. I'm in prime shape, brother. Man, what a week this has been, friend.
You're busy, man. My man, you are busy, and you've got a lot going on this weekend. And you've even got, you got graduation, you got Mother's Day. I'd say your card is stacked.
Stacked. The main event being the Mother's Day on Sunday, but we got a co-main event. My daughter, she's 21 years old, and she graduated college on time. So I'm going up to CU Boulder tomorrow to go see young Paris Murray go out and do her thing, baby. That's going to be a one in a lifetime for sure.
Congrats, Paris. Good on you. Graduating on time, saving dad money. We appreciate it.
You ain't ever lied there, friend. So, we had a big week of wrestling this week. Raw was definitely the better show, all things being said. But, Pinky, one of the things I was just really picking up of what's being put down is going back to last week. For those of you that watched the show last week, we were talking about the higher ups really being in a battle for real control of the WWE universe now. And with that being said, I'm seeing some product changes now, and I'm seeing some better wrestling. We had some people that were let go, one of which was Braun Strowman. I was totally shocked. Like, how come he wasn't a part of the Wyatt Six faction?
So Braun actually had an interview or something. He posted something today. They're talking about like he'll come back in more of a part-time capacity. And they'll probably redo his contract, get him back in a part-time capacity, but he's not at a point where he can wrestle effectively for the schedule that they would have him on. So I think he'll be back in the future from the sounds of it.
Okay, that's cool. Dakota Kai, like she was somebody that was just in the Intercontinental title picture not too long ago. She's gone. I understand the business of WWE, but sometimes it's like, well, why not repopulate some of these people to NXT, or why not get some better? There's a lot of things that go on inside of WWE that obviously I'm not a booker. I'm not getting the chance to like get rid of and get people making it happen. But it's just sometimes there's some people that have great talent and they're not given a shot, and it's not necessarily their fault that they're not getting a shot. What do you think?
So yeah, I mean that's the case. I don't know if once you're on the main roster, I just don't see, I just can't see you going back down, and sometimes that might be a pride thing, right? Of hey, I'm on the main roster. Like, why would I want to go to NXT? Why would I want to do some stuff at TNA, right? Because again, with the cross promotion now, that you can go and they could use you in different spots. And again, folks who have experience coming down to NXT and helping some of the young guys could be awesome. That could lead to some really good stuff down there. But I think it's kind of a pride thing of once you're on the main roster, going down to NXT would look beneath you, right? I think you'd have to swallow pride to do that. And not everybody can do that, Ron. All athletes have that pride, and that would be tough. Um, uh, I really wanted to get in with you. I don't think we've chatted about it yet, and I don't like to stray away from controversy.
All right, come on.
So one of the things that came out with this recent release is that a lot of the folks that were released were part of the LGBTQ community, and that has been kind of part of. Wait, are they getting rid of everyone because of the DEI stuff with the new political stances? And, again, Triple H and Linda McMahon are big in the Trump, um, you know, uh, hierarchy somewhere in there. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that played a part in it at all?
Well, now based upon some of the names that were a part of that, I can't say that I don't see that, but at the end of the day, when you let go of a boatload of people, it's really masked really well, in my opinion. So I think that we're in a situation to where if that was their agenda, they covered it up really well, especially with what you just said about what Braun Strowman said with regards to his wanting to come back in a part-time capacity later on down the line.
Yeah. So I would hope that wasn't a consideration as part of this. Hopefully it was just, hey, we're paying you a lot. We don't really see where you're going. Once you're kind of a mid-carder, that's where you're on your way out. Like if they can't move you around and really get some heat behind you one way or the other, you're probably on your way out eventually. Because again, they're paying you pretty well. I would hope
Right.
that didn't come into the consideration, but it is at least a talking point of, hey, wait, most of these ladies that got released were, all part of that community. So I hope that doesn't win the case, and hopefully some of them will come back. I know a couple of them are. I know Dakota Kai was kind of the shocker for the females. She has been a big part of Damage Control, although Damage Control is done. Like it's done. It's over. So we'll see how that all shapes out.
I agree with you 100% with regards. I hope it isn't the case, but when you're dealing with a publicly traded company, image is a really big thing. Let's be honest, right? And so if you're dealing with somebody that's outwardly behaving in a way that doesn't align with your standards as a company, it may be something that they're saying, okay, this is our message to you, is that we would prefer not to have this type of behavior going on in our locker room.
Yeah, it's tough. So I hope the best for all of them. I hope they all find jobs elsewhere, continue building their brand, continue building their skills, and maybe we'll see them again in the future. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Except for Shayna Baszler, I don't really like Shayna Baszler. I don't like her.
Why don't you like Shayna?
There's nothing about her I find funner. I don't know. She's not good on the mic. I don't find her that good in the ring. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've never watched a Shayna Baszler match and been like, oh, that's dope. So
that's what I want to watch today. Well, she did beat your girl Ronda Rousey, didn't she?
She did, and I have an affinity for Ronda now. I thought Ronda was not amazing in the ring, but again, I loved her in UFC. So, and I've been watching Ronda Rousey since she started fighting after she came over from judo. So I've got a lot of experience watching Ronda, and I thought she did pretty good coming over to WWE, because that's a whole different world, a whole different thing. You're trying to not hurt your opponents. You're trying to work with them, and I thought she did pretty good in that. It sounded like there were some times where she may have, messed up here and there, but I'm sure she got some receipts for it.
Actually, I don't think she got any receipts. I think that anybody that was there at the time, they would have been scared to death to mess with Ronda Rousey. That's for sure.
Probably.
That's for sure. So all that being said, let's get into it, friend. What do you got today?
Well, let's, I think we've got to talk about Raw from this last week. And this Raw, I absolutely is the best Raw that's been on Netflix. And everything about it was great. The Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. Well, the show starts out with Jey Uso and Paul Heyman coming out, and they put together just an amazing promo. You got Paul Heyman coming out, and he's given all the reasons why he's right. You guys think I'm the a-hole. You guys think this. I'm right. I loved it. I was like, man, Paul has got me. He got me. I was like, you're right, Paul. You're right. And then, and he entices Jey Uso into a match with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And so then they show Paul Heyman in the back with Seth Rollins. And he took the bait. He went for it. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, this is, again, storytelling, right?
Right.
We saw it in front of the crowd. The crowd was hyped. They were like, oh my God, we're getting a title match tonight, because it wasn't something that was planned.
Yep.
And because they could have done that. Jay could have been like, when Heyman said anywhere, anytime, hey, next week at Backlash or whatever, right? They could have just pushed it tonight. That was awesome. And the crowd definitely fired up. I will say, when you think of a great crowd, you probably don't think of Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
Omaha was bringing it. And they had every reason to, because they had a stacked card. They did. Everything about the show was awesome. And I'm glad that Omaha was able to show out and have a good time. So, so that whole thing, and then the match, that may be one of Jey Uso's better matches. And maybe that's because he had Seth Rollins in there with him, working with him and helping him, shine. Because it was good. That was a really good match. They played off of each other really well.
Seth Rollins is an incredible superstar. He doesn't nearly get enough credit until right now, because he's been in the shadow of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, for the longest time, even though he was better than Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose went on to AEW and has been a 3-time champion there.
Right. He's killing it over there. Yeah,
so I agree with what you're saying. They leveled up Raw big time. I think that people got their ears to the bone right now, listening to, like, this is what the fans are saying right now, and we need to pick it up. So kudos to the WWE executives that are listening. Boo to the ones that aren't. We have a match on Saturday, which I'm going to just crossbreed because we had the World Heavyweight title match on Raw this week. We have John Cena versus Randy Orton coming in this week. And usually we would go at the end with this. But the reason why I'm bringing it up right here is because that's the pay-per-view. That's the main focus of, like, what's going to happen in Randy's home city against him and John Cena, whom they've wrestled like 30 times in the history of pay-per-view. What's going to happen in this environment? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh man, it's I think we're gonna see that role reversal, right? We've got Randy Orton, who is typically a bad guy, being a good guy, and we've got John Cena, who was mostly a good guy, being a bad guy. I think we're gonna have a clean match. I think we're gonna have everybody getting over. Everybody's getting there. We're gonna have some attitude adjustments. We're gonna definitely get an RKO out of nowhere. All the moves are gonna be there. I do think it's going to be kind of a brawler match too, right? These guys are a little bit slower. They can't move like they used to. So we're probably going to get a little bit more of that brawling style. I do think some way, somehow, Cena is going to cheat to win. I think we're going to see that consistently through his title reign through this year, because that fits the heel character, right? He has to cheat to win. Now, I also think that it's almost like an homage too to Ric Flair, who is also one of the greatest champions of all time. That dude cheated a lot to win.
Yes, he did. Yes,
and
he
I think
did.
this
and
is
we loved it back then.
To that, right? So that's where I think this is going to go. I don't see Randy beating Cena. I mean, Cena just got the belt 3 weeks ago. He's not losing it till December, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. What else? So Logan Paul, what you got with him?
So, cool thing about Logan Paul, right? So again, at the end of the heavyweight match, Uso, Rollins, Sami Zayn comes out. He gets speared again by Braun Breaker, of course. And then who comes out? CM Punk to save the day. And I don't really cheer for CM Punk much, but I was actually happy to see him. I was like, oh, CM Punk's coming down to save Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. Awesome. He comes out with a chair. He cleans house. He gets the crowd hyped. The show ends. Everything's great. Jey kept the title. Crazy thing, Ron, I don't know if you heard it. There was no bell. There was no bell, and there was no mention of who won the match. It just
You
ended.
know what? You're right. Absolutely. Whoa.
It just ended. Because I waited for that for a second. I was like, oh, the ref should be like, ring the bell, disqualification. Nothing. The match just ended in chaos. Jay's getting up, and guess who comes out over the barricade? This is after Raw went off the network. Good old $1 Million Fist or Bionic Fist or whatever they call him, over the barricade in a hoodie, knocks Jey Uso out, and then runs back out into the crowd. Logan Paul, man, I love Logan Paul. I know some people hate him, but I love this guy. His heel is perfect. I think he's just being himself. I don't think he's really going too far into having to play an evil character. I think he's just being who he is, and I love every second of it, man. I think this fits so well into messing with Jey. Jay's not at a point he can lose the title yet, right? They gave him all the heat. They got him over. He's on top of the world. It's not time to take the belt from him yet. But you can keep having some matches with Logan Paul, who I think Logan Paul will definitely be a good match for Jey when we get that. And I think Logan Paul is going to join this new faction. Which
would be so good. Good.
And again, it brings up, you've got Seth Rollins helping Braun Breaker and Logan Paul lift their status to the next main event status. And you could say, I mean, Logan Paul's already had some main events. He's up there already in that conversation. I think this would just kind of being part of that group would help solidify that in this case. What are your thoughts on Logan?
I love Logan Paul because he's you know what? The thing I want to give the devil his due is he's come in from outside of WWE, and I have not disliked any of his matches except for the one against Cody Rhodes. That's it, because that one was pre-predicted. Coming right after WrestleMania and everything like that, it was really very clear that Cody Rhodes was going to maintain the title. But when he fought Roman Reigns, when he fought Rey Mysterio Jr., when he did all those things, he came out and he was an outstanding addition to the WWE roster. People truly hate him. So it's one of those things to where when he comes down to the ring, he's truly hated until later on down the line, they find a way to turn him to a good guy. And then everybody's going to love him to death down the line. So he's got a great character. He's got a great personality. He's young. He's athletic. He's fun. He's funny. He talks great trash. He's unlike any other superstar that's ever been inside of WWE.
Yeah, and I know in the locker room there's probably some guys that like really don't like giving him his flowers because he's come out and he's been great from the start. He hasn't had to put a decade of work in to get where he's at. And that just goes to, again, this dude's talked on a mic or had a camera in his face since he was a teenager, right? He's played this character for years. So he knows how to do it. He knows how to talk to an audience. He knows how to tell a story to an audience, right? Which I think is something that a lot of guys have to work on to get where they want to be in WWE. It's not just your wrestling. I think a lot of guys with their athleticism can get in the ring and do well and work. But it's their mic skills, it's their storytelling, it's the promos, it's everything. Sometimes it takes you some time to build that up, time to build up that confidence and be able to play your character, right?
Yeah, I find that Logan Paul is the future. I feel that he and Seth Rollins together would make them like almost feel unstoppable, along with Braun Breaker, like the three faces of doom. Like that's Braun Breaker's a bruiser. Both Seth Rollins and Logan Paul are both incredibly adept at wrestling. They're really great wrestlers, and they would have a long hold on the WWE Raw roster for sure.
I'm so stoked. I hope he joins. I'm excited for that. I'll tell you, one of the matches I really, really enjoyed was Io Sky and Roxanne Perez. I'm all in on this NXT takeover story. I'm all in. And Io Sky, every time I watch her, I just keep going, I love this girl in the ring. I love her. I love her positivity. I love her moves. I love her ability to work. I mean, man, she's so good. And then Roxanne Perez she's the truth, man.
Yeah, she's the prodigy. Good. She says she's the prodigy, and she absolutely is the prodigy. What an incredible talent. And then Julia, and then Stephanie Vaquer, which we've had that conversation multiple times, that she is destined to be like one of the greatest champions of all time in her own time.
I don't need these girls in NXT anymore. I just don't. Like right. This is done. They don't need it. They're ready. And it's time. It's time to, Vakir still got the belt. Give that. I don't know if she even needs to lose the belt to anybody. Just say that she's no longer on NXT. Boom. Main roster.
Retire it. Yeah, retire her from that brand. We want her on this brand. That's for sure. Another thing that came up is the Becky Lynch and the Lyra Valkyria. So I'm not... Unless Becky's going to go and join Seth in this group, this battle is just really nada. It's not really something that's really boosting either of these women in the process of becoming top class individuals. I thought about Becky the other day and see what you think about this. The only reason why Becky Lynch became big, because if you go BC, Becky, she was kind of a mid-carder. And then all of a sudden, the SmackDown brand came onto Raw, and Nia Jax clocked her and bloodied her nose, and she gave an interview with a bloody nose. And everybody was like, that is so cool. That's like so real. And then it caught fire, and now she's the man. But she's been the man now for 6 years. That gimmick is done. Because she's not beating Rhea Ripley like that. She's not beating Liv Morgan like that. She's not like the most dominant wrestler on the brand right now. She's just another good wrestler on the brand. So they need to rebrand her and go in against Lyra Valkyria, who's a decent wrestler. I'm not that in love with this feud. What do you think?
My opinion is they're only doing this to lift up the status of Lyra Valkyria. Hey, Becky, we're glad to have you back. We've got some plans for you in the future. Right now, we need you to help Lyra Valkyria lift her brand up. She's our Intercontinental Champion, the first Intercontinental Champion, and she's not getting the heat that we thought she would get. And I kind of think her song is kind of cool, like the woo, that's kind of cool. But after the third one, I'm kind of I'm done. I just don't find anything really great about her. I will say I did unlock her in WWE 2K25 on my faction team, and I've had to do a couple matches with her, and I am able to, her character in the game, she's pretty good. I got an 80 Lyra Valkyria, and she's pretty good. But in the ring, I just don't. She's good, and I think maybe one of the things I do see of this is it's like women of equal size and abilities, so then it looks better to me. When I see Becky Lynch against Nia Jax or Rhea Ripley, in my mind, even when Liv Morgan was facing Rhea Ripley, I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah, there's no
chance. A woman of Rhea Ripley's size will literally just dominate Liv Morgan or dominate Becky Lynch. There's no, when you see that, the size discrepancy, to me, my eyes tell me that person has no chance.
Right. Right.
So
It's
so
like
for
you.
me,
It's like you wrestling against me. You know what I'm saying?
right?
It's like everybody would be like, dude,
You'd
why are
be
you wrestling Ron?
you'd be able to hold your own. You'd be able to hold your own. I mean, I might wear you down. But yeah, it's so I think Becky is just there to help bring Lyra up and try to provide more heat for her, put her over. I do think Lyra will win this weekend. I would hope, Ron, I really hope they bring Becky into that faction. It just makes sense. And again, it's just so much sense because now you can use now you've got someone who can try to dominate in the women's division as well as part of your faction. And to me, I always loved China. When China was part of DX,
Yes.
and again, China would beat up on women, and then she beat up on dudes as well. So that was interesting in that time. But it would be cool to see Becky join. And again, everybody knows, Becky and Seth are married.
Right.
So
Everybody
why not
knows
have
that.
them together? I don't think they've ever really done anything together in the ring that I'm aware of.
A couple things. That's it.
Okay.
There was
I think
the smack on the butt instance where Becky smacks Seth on the butt, like when they were in the ring together, what have you, and everybody. It was like the breakout of their married kind of thing. Continue. I'm sorry. I got a
all
lot of
good.
stuff that I want to cover now. All of a sudden, so
You tell me how you feel about that one.
I think that it just makes sense for that faction to get as big as possible, like maybe 4 or 5 people. I think that you have a Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Becky Lynch, and then throw in one more side person as a 5th person, and just have those guys just go wreak havoc over WWE.
I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. What else you got from Raw? And then I know we got to spend some time on Backlash.
All right, so I love the interview between Paul Heyman and Jey Uso, but what I would love for them to do is to tie in the bloodline in its entirety. Like, come on, Jay, you know how I am. Like have those references so that it makes it real, because when 2 people have interaction in the past, it makes sense for you to draw that relevance together, because Paul Heyman used to be the wise man for Roman Reigns, but he used to lead the whole entire bloodline. So
Right.
You want to show, he showed his manipulation of getting Jay to agree to a match with Seth, but it wasn't like he had to do anything to do it. You know what I mean? He didn't like have to impose his will. Like, Jay, we could save you, and we can work together. Maybe you want to join us or something like that. There was none of that kind of thing, because that's tying it all together. Like, Jay, I know how you left the bloodline. I know you had a lot of bad times with Roman running things now, but now we got Seth. Maybe we can have you come and join and align with us, right? And then Jay is like, hell no. Well, then you turn to like, let's have the match, right? Because you have to show that they had connective tissue at one time.
And they did a little bit of that. They dropped a couple of those breadcrumbs, but nothing like they didn't go all in like you're saying. But I think the Bloodlines is done. Like, I think that I think they'll rebrand it in the future at some point in time. But I think the Bloodlines is pretty much done. I saw something earlier the week that Roman Reigns is no longer going to wear the Ulafala and be the tribal chief. So they're going to, the rumor is they're going to bring him back to Big Dog Roman. We'll see. We'll see what they do there. But that was pretty interesting. Did you catch? Rusev had a pretty good match with Otis. That was cool. I enjoy Otis. He just plays that lovable character so well, and
so well.
That was fun. We'll see what they like, and maybe Alpha Academy right now is like the starting point. You come in, you get in a little bit of a feud with Alpha Academy, and then you move on to the next thing. That's kind of where Alpha Academy is at this point. They definitely don't do enough with Maxine Dupree. I've been waiting to see some more of her. And,
my gosh. Yeah. I thought she was going to be the breakout of the whole, because Maxine Dupree is she's nothing bad to look at. So why can't you market that?
It's okay, Ron. You can say she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Let's talk about your man, Cero Miedo. Let's talk about him. I don't want to see him cool off like they have him cooling off. He's having 50-50 matches now against JD McDonough, who's just coming off a lacerated kidney or lung or what have you.
That was an entertaining match. That was a good match.
I just want to see Penta be a possibility of being an Intercontinental Champion or WWE Champion of some sort here in 2025. He came in as a rock star, and he needs to get the rock star treatment. What do you think?
Oh, dude. This week I was all in, bro. They did the new Penta theme. It's the same song, but they brought in my man Adam Jones from Tool. Tool is my favorite band.
Oh, okay.
I was in heaven. Like you can hear I could hear the difference. As soon as they started playing it, I was like, oh, okay. And they made the comment that Adam Jones is on it playing, and I was like, oh, I was in. So I was ready for Penta to have a good night. And I do kind of enjoy the back and forth with the Judgment Day, where you've got Penta and he's having to fight one of the guys in the Judgment Day, and then he's having to fight, Finn Balor as well and Carlito, and then Chad Gable shows up. Then they're bringing Chad Gable back in, which again, eventually we know that's going to lead to Phoenix and Penta versus Chad Gable, and they'll probably do a Chad Gable and then put somebody else in the El Grande Americano mask for that match. I think that's going to happen one day. But man, every time I watch Penta, man, I just have fun. Have fun. I love his character. I love his interaction with the fans. That walk,
that's like the coolest walk in the world. He walks like, I own it right here. Let me get it. Right. We
need that as like a constant gift that you can just like, this is my mood today. And just get it. I'm sitting there like, man, can I buy a Penta mask? And can I make it blue and orange to wear it to Bronco games? Like that's where I'm at right now.
You can. There's a place where you can. I'll send you the link. There's a Penta mask. Or not, there's a Rey Mysterio mask, and I'm sure there's easy to get a Penta mask, Denver Bronco style, and be able to walk in and be like,
dude, send it to me. I will be like all over it. I'll tell George Kittle, like, what's up, Kittle? Like, I got you. We'll have a blast. I love the Broncos. So if I can merge you know what? I told the wife I was going to bring my belt to Green Bay when I went to the NFL draft, and she was like, no, you can't do that. That's just dumb. There was everybody with belts on. I was like, man,
I could have had my thing right.
Next year I'm bringing the belt. I don't care. I'm bringing it. So
well, I got my my Rated R Superstar belt signed by Mick Foley. I'm looking at that, and then you see Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, and all those guys right there, Roman Reigns. So that belt's worth a bunch. I shouldn't tell everybody that because now everybody's going to be looking at our Internet Explorer links.
Last one I want to at least ask about. I thought this was really fun. It was really great to see him back because he's been out for a couple months. Sheamus. There's just something. When Sheamus is in the ring, man, he's fun. I love his character. I love the fighter. He actually lost. I want to say he lost like 20 or 30 pounds.
Yeah, he looks good.
Great. Looks great.
When he first came back, he looked like me, and now he's done slimmed down and everything. So yeah, he's back in it.
He did the steak and vegetables, chicken and vegetables diet for like 2 months. So
to get himself leaner.
Yeah, to get himself in that condition. I think he's pretty much like no carbs right now.
And the tension between Austin Theory and
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller. I think that one of them needs to be let go of WWE, and the other one needs to get an opportunity to shine. Like, I don't even want one of them to be on Raw and one on the SmackDown because they're the same character. They need to get one of them gone and the other one good, and I think they would prosper better because Austin Theory, he's got a bad magnet because he was the old champ, the old camps guy.
Right. He was Vince McMahon's guy. And they made
Yeah.
that evident. And they also made that part of the story of him as well.
Right.
That he was Vince McMahon's guy. That's why he was the prodigy. That's why he was coming up so fast. Because he was Vince McMahon's guy. Now he's got the look. He's got the attitude. I think they kind of did him dirty by really getting him up. And then as soon as Vince left, they were like, screw you, you're a mid-carder now.
Not even a mid-carder. He's a Santino Morello.
Right. If he disappeared, you probably wouldn't notice.
Right.
And that's one of the worst things. That's one of the worst places you can be in WWE. And Grayson Waller, like you said, they're the same. I love that you said that because it's really the same guy. And he's in the same place. Like if he left, would you even notice anymore?
Right. I would have no difference or indifference about him because I would be in the space of like, who dat? You know,
right.
like, yeah, they do the same exact stuff and
like,
everything.
I'm missing Kevin Owens. I'm missing him a lot. Every time I watch, I'm like, man, we need a Kevin Owens. We need a guy that's fun, is good on the mic, can be a good guy, can be a bad guy, can go back and forth so easily, and then puts on amazing matches. And I miss that guy. Cheers to Kevin. I hope he's doing well. I hope his surgery went well.
And Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they're just like when they're on the show, it's like I can go take a bathroom break. I can go and do whatever. I'm not like sitting there thinking that I missed anything by having them on the show.
None of their matches are bad per se. They're just like you don't see anything that you're like, wow, they're gonna lose. Again, that's where they're at now. Like you just know they're kind of where the Miz was when I first got back into wrestling. I kept noticing that the Miz was getting all the new people, and every time he got someone, they always won. Like no matter what, the Miz always lost.
He always lost.
And that's where Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are. They always lose, and at that point, it's like, well, like what do we do with these guys? I don't know. I think your idea is the best idea. One of them needs to go, and now you can start doing something with the other one.
Right. Exactly. And it's one of those things to where it just makes sense. Like Triple H, pull the plug, do your thing. And, my thing with Triple H is not so much that he's a bad booker. It's just that he was a professional wrestler for how many years. And his ultimate thing is that he's still not getting like continuity. When a person is a wrestler, you got to tell good stories if you're going to be the guy in control. He sometimes tells good stories like the Bloodline. He relied on that for what? 5 years. Now what?
And I was done year 3. By the time year 3, oh yeah, man. By the time year 3 was in, it was the same crap. Roman only comes out on PLEs. Every time Roman's in a big match, the Bloodline comes in and helps him win. He doesn't win any matches clean, which is if you want to do it every other one, that's fine. But it was every single time. And this is as I was getting back into it. I'm watching this every week, and I'm like, well, he never wins by himself. He always has someone help him. That gets old to me.
Yeah.
And that's where I don't want to see interference from a group every single time. Because to me, that doesn't make you look strong. And Roman Reigns was supposed to be the head of the table. He's supposed to be the man. He's supposed to be God mode. Well,
yeah, you got to be able to find a way to win like Nature Boy Ric Flair,
right,
all the time. Like he won with the Horsemen sometime, but most of the time he won by himself. Put the figure 4 on, and I'm through with it, right?
So that's where I see that getting into Backlash, and I think this plays into a little bit what you're talking about with Triple H. Would you agree that because WrestleMania was pushed back so far into April, that Backlash is really rushed, and we haven't had any time to really build any story?
WrestleMania this year has messed up a lot of stuff for this year. First of all, WrestleMania is usually the last week in March or the first week in April. We're pushed back to almost May and trying to get a pay-per-view going on May the 10th, right? We had WrestleMania the 19th and 20th, and less than 2.5 weeks later, we're trying to put on another PLE. And it's very blah. Like I said, it's pretty predictable. John Cena is going to cheat to beat Randy Orton. Maybe Jey Uso loses to Logan Paul with the help of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, so that they have a break the thing moment. That's my prediction. But what other matches do we have there this week?
Well, that's not even a match yet. Jey Uso's not on the Backlash card at the moment.
Really?
So he is not. So let me run it down. So we already talked Randy Orton and John Cena. They were kind of advertising that before WrestleMania was even done. They started putting out some promotional material for Backlash, and some of it had Randy Orton, some of it had John Cena, and you were like, oh, well, that's easy. They're going to have a match. That was easy. So we got that one. We have we have our guy, Gunther, against my other guy, Pat McAfee. Like, I love Pat McAfee. I like talking on the mic. I think I get better every time I do it. I use Pat McAfee and Rich Eisen as inspiration. Those are two dudes that I feel like are just really cool guys that have their dream job. They get to hang out with their friends and family and talk sports, and they get paid a lot of money to do it. That's amazing. That's the best thing you can do, right? So with that, I'm interested to see how they play this one. Part of me thinks you can't bring Pat McAfee in and have him get demolished. But then also, can you make Gunther look weak again, as you know he's still one of your main event top guys? It's a really tough scenario.
What did Gunther do to piss off the higher-ups? Because I still think about it like Gunther tapped out on a mild chokehold at WrestleMania 41 in the first match of the night.
The only thing I can think of is that is going to be a factor in this match as well. Like, to me, I think McAfee's going to get him in a choke, and Gunther's going to tap out again. Or, well, I think that's what will happen, and then I think Gunther will get pissed off, and he'll go berserk, and he'll put Pat back in that really good chokehold he had him in. And then I believe we will get the rumor that is coming around is that we will get Goldberg coming out to save Pat McAfee. Because they're lining up, I think Goldberg's last match at SummerSlam, I think, is what they're working towards. I don't have any inside information. I'm not part of the sheets, but that's what everybody's been talking about.
Well, let's timestamp this one. This is at 43 minutes and 23 seconds. Pinky is predicting that Goldberg will fight against Gunther. And I can't disagree with you, because what a better way to go out than on a 2-night SummerSlam and having Gunther versus against Bill Goldberg. That'll be an incredible match.
And again, that comes back to the previous. I think they were overseas when Gunther. I think it was at the Castle, maybe, where Gunther was throwing shade at Goldberg. So we'll that should be a good payout from that. So, but I'm worried. I could see this going a lot of different directions. So at least in that part, because I do have that, like, hey, this could go a lot of different directions. That's good, right? Because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. I do enjoy that.
The thing I will say is that I think that John Cena versus Randy Orton, John Cena cheats, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. I'm not who cares, but unless Becky Lynch joins Seth Rollins' stable and takes the Intercontinental Championship, like, what would Becky Lynch benefit from winning the Intercontinental Championship?
She doesn't. She doesn't at all. Like, this does nothing for Becky. So that's where, hell, in my mind, I'm like, shoot, we should have had Stephanie Vaquer up here challenging for the Intercontinental title and taking it and running with it. And now we got
Right.
something fun to talk about. I want to see some Devil's Kiss every week. That's what I'm saying. I'll be like Booker T. Booker T is awesome. Love that guy. And then we got Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. I'm excited. I think this match does have the potential to be the match. I think these two guys will put on a show, and because they've got very similar styles, that lucha wrestling style, right? I find that fun and entertaining. Not everybody likes it, but I do think it's fun, and I'm expecting a good match. Dominic Mysterio's not losing. They're not going to take the belt from him this quick.
Not on the first month.
Which again, I don't. This could be the PLE. We don't see any titles switch hands. I know they've typically had one, but with it being 3 weeks from WrestleMania, can you take a title from someone that quickly? Dominic,
yeah, Ricky Steamboat lost the belt that he won at WrestleMania, one of the greatest matches ever, to Randy Savage, where he beat him, and they lost at the next pay-per-view to the Honky Tonk Man, who became a champion for 53 weeks.
He was a champion for a long time, man. Long time. And I think Ricky Steamboat was better. So I enjoyed him a lot more. I liked Honky Tonk. Honky Tonk was fun, but Ricky Steamboat was pretty damn good. What do you think about Penta and Mysterio?
It would be nice for Penta to win the title, but I just see Dominic Mysterio having some help. Maybe the new guy they've been talking about for the Judgment Day comes out and helps in this match, because they've been talking about a new guy for the last several months or something like that. Maybe that happens. But if Penta does win it, it'd be nice, because even though Dominic loses the belt, Penta is just an attraction. That dude is just amazing.
Penta's got all the heat, man. He's got all the heat. The fans love him. To me, it's like it's Jey Uso right now when he gets onto the crowd, and then Penta's like right there below him. So I don't think it'll be long. I think Penta wins a title this year. I just don't know if it's going to be this weekend. But I'll be ready.
Cero miedo. I'm bummed out that we're not going to be watching it together, but it's a busy weekend, unfortunately.
It's a busy weekend. We'll get we've got Money in the Bank in 3 weeks, so we can just do Money in the Bank. The next one, this one will probably be a banger too. Fatu defends the United States Championship in a fatal 4-way against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre.
Fatu.
How can you take the title from him? You just gave it to him. You know, Fatu's my guy. I love Fatu. Like, the only reason I go back and watch SmackDown highlights is to catch Fatu. Like, that's my guy. I'm going to beat your ass from coast to coast, post to post.
Post to post, right.
Fatu.
I think that Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, they get into some kind of squab with each other, and LA Knight is just not quality enough to beat Jacob Fatu by himself. He's just not.
Do you think are we going to get Solo Sikoa interfering in this match again? Because he interfered with the one on SmackDown.
That could be a thing, and then that would be LA Knight winning in that case, because I can't see Drew or Damian Priest winning. I see Solo helping, and then LA Knight wins, and then Solo Sikoa and Fatu fight at SummerSlam or Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't know. LA Knight's had the belt twice already. I don't see him getting it back. I think that's done. I don't know where he goes from here, but I do think that is done for him. Kind of weird, because once you've had that belt a couple times, does him continually chasing it make any sense? I don't know. I know he's that guy. I mean, he's fairly old too. Like, his runway is not going to be too long anymore.
He's like 41, 42, right?
Yeah, I don't see this generation allowing legends to stay around for into their early, late 40s, early 50s anymore. Because
we're in that era right now, right?
we've got so much young talent coming up anymore that, again, you don't need to keep the legends around in the same capacity anyways. But yeah, Fatu should win this one. This should be pretty fun. Let's see, we talked about Lyra, Becky, Gunther, Pat. So that's all the matches that are currently on the card. I do think they're going to hold off on Uso till Money in the Bank, or they might make that surprise on Friday. But I know Uso's mainly on Raw, so I don't know why they would come up with that on SmackDown. And then I saw some predictions that maybe we'll get a Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax match. That has not been announced yet, but there's going to be at least one more match added, I believe, because I think Hunter likes 6. I think for some of these PLEs he likes 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 some more, so I think one more is coming. Just don't know which one that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that so long as they don't overbook things and make things, they can start to right the ship. I saw a match on AEW recently involving Will Ospreay, and that dude is incredibly talented. They've had a lot of problems with story writing too in AEW. And the thing I'm really clear on is that when you have so much talent, all the bookers in the room have got to be on the same page.
right.
Because right now it just feels like they're slapping shows together, which is what Vince McMahon was accused of for a long time, that he was just throwing shows together for the purpose of getting people to get on the show, and none of the storylines made sense. Well, at least the storylines are making sense right now. And I just hope that as we get into the latter part of 2025, because we have the Australian version of the Crown Jewel event where they're going to be having the second annual champion versus champions matches. Last year, when we had Cody Rhodes beat Gunther and we had Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax, one of the things that did is like, okay, how many rings is this person going to win versus this person going to win, right? Like imagine Hulk Hogan back in the day. He wins 4 or 5 rings, and then all of a sudden everybody's now chasing the ring thing, right? So who's going to be the catalyst for this upcoming last part of 2025 is something to start looking at. What's going to happen leading into Crown Jewel, because you're going to want your champions to be strong. Is it good? Because I don't see Jey Uso being inside of Crown Jewel representing the Raw brand, and I don't necessarily see John Cena representing the SmackDown brand, but it could.
I've got a prediction right now for Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley is winning the world title back at Crown Jewel.
But it's champion versus champion. The Raw champion versus the SmackDown champion.
Well, then they can make a match. Well, maybe you're right. So she's going to have the belt by that. It's in Perth, Australia. She's going to have a belt at that time. She's going to be a champ at that time. So at some point before that, she's going to get the belt back.
So her versus Stephanie Vaquer?
That would be awesome. I take it. I don't know if they're going to get. I think Stephanie will get the Intercontinental title, or she'll get the U.S. the American title, because I don't think Selena Vega is going to hold that too long. Chelsea Green did awesome with that belt. I was so glad that they had her do it. I think she did a great job. She made that belt. She made everything fun. She did a great job with it. It was probably time to move it on. I was a little surprised they moved it to Selena, but I don't think Selena's going to hold that very long.
End game.
We're done,
right,
my man.
Right now we are past WrestleMania, which we've already gone over. That was not the ideal situation, but when you're looking at WWE product right now, it's still as good as it's ever been. It's just a matter of just making sure that you're dialed in on the right time, the right program for what it is that suits your needs. And when you tune in to Smack Talk and Raw, you're going to hear Pinky and Ron. And if you don't like what we got to say, we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Suck it. Love you, buddy.
Love you too. We'll see you later,
Let's
bud.
have a good week. All right.
Okay, you too.